Really? It's past the top of the hour. Welcome to the Pan African List. Happy New Year. Had a beautiful holiday. Karibuni sana family to another beautiful conversation right here on the media of the 21st century. My name is Jovi, and of course, Karibuni, Karibuni. It's been a minute. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. I hope you had a beautiful holiday. Literally, hope you're looking forward to a beautiful, happy new year, a very fantastic one. However, you're looking for the ambitions you've set for yourself this year, the goals. Literally, wishing you that you fulfill them and don't underestimate yourself. Like, literally, go so hard on yourself this year. Stop procrastinating. I've said personally, those are the things that I'm literally leaving behind, literally in 2025, procrastination. I don't know about you, but welcome to another beautiful conversation. My name is Joby. This is the Pan African List. My name is Joby. And of course, you're listening to the media of the 21st century, Black Outflower Network, as we get to catch up on what has been happening in our beautiful continent, Africa. A lot has been literally happening politically, literally Christmas wise, holiday wise. So much has been happening, but of course, ensure you catch up with us on all the conversation and the shows throughout the week as you get to see what has been popping and happening. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about what's actually happening in Somaliland. Recently, that was actually, I think, last week or the beginning of last of this week, literally last the beginning of last week, sorry, where we had Somaliland literally getting a recognition from Israel. And it's a really a good discussion. We need to understand what is really happening right here, why is this happening right now, and of course the mixed reaction from other different regions. We had the Mogadishu people who are so mad about this. We had some Somali land people who are so mad about this. But remember, we're talking about literally the same people who are divided. When you go back to history, this is in 1991 when the division happened, when Somaliland declared independence from the collapsed central government of Somali. It's always the division of Africa, and that is literally another year as we talk about the same old patterns, because we still have the same puppets. Nothing has changed, and they're not looking forward to change anything so soon unless we the people declare power. We're going to talk about what is happening in Nigeria. We have about literally Imager. We have a death toll that has risen to 50. This is after a market attack. We're going to be looking forward to this. We also had the US striking towards Nigeria, and we know what is also happening currently in Venezuela, related same issues. This is about the oil. We're going to be talking about that. I'll touch a little bit on the Venezuela, but later on the Africa Today show tonight, we'll be conversating much deeper on that. We also have Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. who came with a very strict rule about the Americans visiting their country. We're going to be checking slightly on that and so much more coming from today's conversation. As you also see, literally, how this has affected literally so many Nigerians, especially after the attack that happened with the US striking or launching their strike. Karibuni sana once again, and a quick reminder as you get to continue to download our app on the Google Play Store. Blackout Fire Network is the name. You can get yourself amazing merchandise. We have t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, mugs, handbags in different colors, different sizes, and of course, we also have amazing organic supplements. We say your health is your wealth, and we'd love to share some beetroot because I've been keeping it healthy during this weekend, taking a lot of fruits. I'm literally from just taking some amazing passion and mango juice. I don't know about you, how you've been sustaining yourself during this amazing holiday. Have you been junking up? What have you been up to? But some beetroot is really good for your health.
Beetroot,
as we come back,
nature's powerhouse, packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and nitrates. It's known to support heart health, boost stamina, and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried, and finely ground to preserve their rich nutrition content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie, or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Only $20.90. In case you have any question, kindly ensure you leave your comments or other question right there on the sports page itself, where you'll find it on the Blackout Fire Network application. Once you download this, we are on the sports page, and of course, you can ask anything you'd like on that particular chat page. Rather, email at kcnews15@gmail.com. But as we get straight to the conversation, I want to start with this video right here of this young lady talking about how African countries will keep on voluntarily accepting to be colonized. And I don't know if this is literally voluntarily or they just do it by force, because if you look at literally what America is doing to countries like Nigeria, countries like Venezuela, do really this country voluntarily accept to be warmongered on? I don't think so. They are actually invaded. So I think it's kind of more of a safer word that you can use when you say African countries are not being guided well. Of course, we have puppets in these leadership seats in terms of presidents, in terms of senators, and all the corrupt judges as well, because they are all corrupt. I don't know which judge that actually is very straightforward in this particular system. Name me one. I don't know. But if there is, shout to them. But I don't think African countries will voluntarily. I mean, it's not justifiable because we have a right, especially we being the majority, we have a right. And if we go back to practicing democracy, we have a right to call out so many actions that are being done by these leaders and do not actually favor us. But again, we still don't call the shots because again, we don't voluntarily do this because we're not actually independent. We have countries that literally have held us captive for the longest time, and they continuously keep on benefiting, and they're willing to do anything so long as they're actually in that particular system. But listen to this lady. She's talking about actually how literally so many African countries have accepted colonization. This is for literally 25 years. And she's explaining further, looking at literally how America is benefiting from all this, and the African lives out there are in danger about this.
I believe we are underreacting. The United States has just signed a deal for the America First health policy, where they get to monitor African countries for 25 years. These are the countries that have already signed on for the Memorandum of Understanding. There is no news coverage about any of these countries except for Kenya.
If you can remember, we talked about this. We looked at Kenya, we looked at Uganda. Those are the only 2 African countries that I discussed about that they were getting some funds from the US regarding their healthcare system that are being given away and all that. And Kenya was one of the countries. Like we said, we saw the High Court, which I'm not buying this. There is no straightforward judiciary system that we have, executive, however you want to call them, all these bodies, arms of law, they don't serve the people. they don't work for the people anymore. Is it set up there? Yes, to work for the people, yes. But does this actually system apply favoring the people? No, because most of the people actually put in these positions, they're all bought out, they're all being funded, they're all corrupt. Literally, they work for the same corrupt system that actually is passing this kind of actions that is going to affect majority and many people in the African continent. So we talked about this, but literally, yes, she's going to mention Kenya being one of the countries that only said no to this, but I'm still not going to buy it. So looking forward and picking up from where we left.
Whose citizens are pushing back, but none of the other countries are pushing back. And I'm going to show you what's in the document because they just released a 40-page message to the American people on what this looks like. Let me show you. This is when you open the document. It is the America First Global Health Strategy. There's like a bunch, but this is the letter from Shortman Rubio. And I want you to pay attention to this part right here. You can read the whole thing if you want. I want you to pay attention to the last paragraph, okay? Right here. It says, we will continue to be world leaders and the most generous nation in the world, but we will do so in a way that directly benefits the American people and directly promotes our national interest. Why, as an African country, would you sign a document that says that you're going to put another country's interest above your own?
I mean, we've been doing that for the longest time also, because we're not just looking at this conversation only on the matter of the health database that is actually willingly being given to America, which is Africans' database. This is not just literally about the health. This is regarding so many things. African countries have been for so long putting America and non-African countries on the top than the continent itself and the people themselves. I mean, this is very evident. So many cases we've seen it. We would rather see these African leaders smiling with Trump, with Jinping, with these other non-African presidents, trying to show their molars all the way out, rather than seeing Africans smile. They have not in any way changed the Africans' lives. Not in any sort of way. The same oppression, the slavery is still actually very much active. And so many things if you put in between, literally in all that. So this is not just about the healthcare system or health data being sold to America. This is, if you look at it on a bigger, wider level, this is what they do. Africa, the continent, we are actually in a position where, apart from only 3 countries right now, again, the Alliance Sahel state only, those are the only 3 countries that have stood firmly and boldly saying we're not going to allow this bullshit of being dictated and being told what to do. Same to Namibia. I hope soon they join the Alliance Sahel state without wasting time, because she's going to be removed out of power without her literally noticing. Within a blink of an eye, you have a vision for the people, but when it's taking you so much time for you to deliver or actualize this, the Americans are watching. The people in power, the people who have been controlling Africa for the longest time and stealing, will still try and capture back that position and put whoever they want to control the system. So yes, for so long we've been doing this, not just about the healthcare. We've been putting America as the Igwe, the Lord.
You can go through the whole document. They go through several points. The first point, making America safer by surveilling. This part's my favorite. The United States will continue to engage bilaterally to the maximum extent possible to strengthen global security for disease threats and increasing focus on countries where the outbreak is at a high risk. By maximum intent is crazy, because that means they're willing to do anything and everything to keep Americans safe, disregarding African lives. And African countries just signed this. Yay.
It's really, really crazy. And we need to, I think it's a time where we're really heading Africans. This is a time we need to look into articles. We need to be very careful what this system is actually putting our lives into. Our lives are being sold out without our knowledge, without our consent. And I don't know how to say it, but Africa is a time you need to be very keen with everything that this leadership, so-called your presidents, leaders are doing. But looking at that, countries that are actually doing better on looking so deep into America and non-African countries that have been for so long, again, benefiting from the continent, and they don't want any nonsense anymore, is the Alliance Sahel state. We saw that was last year, America hitting so many countries with the travel restrictions and all that. And now we have Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, who have also banned Americans from entering their territory. I mean, it's a tit for tat. And this is what we should have applied long time ago, sadly, because I remember from the first year, for me, I've been talking about if I was a president, or if I was if I was put in a certain position, especially when it comes to traveling and banning restriction. This is the same tactic we should have applied long time ago. But at the same time, we should be very strict, if not very strict, when these people come into the continent. Follow up, like, hey, what's up? What are you coming here to do? Who do you know? How long are you gonna stay? Because these questions are not really asked, and this is why we have so many drug dealers. We have pedophiles who are operating in the African continent freely. We have people with so many diseases literally affecting young girls in the continent. So tit for tat, and I really love this. Shout out to the Alliance Sahel State.
Mali, Burkina Faso are essentially matching the US's energy, as they say, aura for aura, band for band, because the US added them to this travel ban. As of today, they can't come to the United States. They have done the same. They're following the footsteps of Chad, that also banned United States citizens from going to that country after they were added to this travel ban. And state media in Niger have said that they too will be applying similar reciprocal arrangements to block US citizens from going to Niger. As of today, 1st January 2026, about 12 African country citizens cannot come to the United States. Another 14 are under partial restrictions. This is one of the largest travel bans to ever affect the African continent. Almost half of all African nations' citizens cannot come to the United States without restrictions, and that is a large number.
And I feel like this should actually even hit Africans way deeper by when we stop even when we get maybe some restriction on us importing things from them anymore, like where we need to now start building our own, creating our very own things without depending on anyone, because this could hit us anytime. Because we've seen with America and these other non-African countries, if you don't go with their bidding, it's restrictions left, right, and center, some stupid things always that they put on you, and not telling you the fact that they actually they exhume more from you, more than you benefit from them, because even what we benefit from them is all breadcrumbs. You take raw materials from here, then what you get is breadcrumbs and still being sold super expensive to you. It's not making sense. So actually this is very, very good. Shout out to the countries that have put this applying the same tit for tat game the way America did with them. And I hope this affects us on importation too, because that's going to teach us a very good lesson.
Fred, Mali, Burkina Faso
that is what
are essentially matching.
That is what is happening in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. But as we continue, we have more news and updates.
That's not just what's happening in Burkina Faso. They tried to overthrow his ass yesterday again. There's a coup in Burkina Faso yesterday, family. They tried to overthrow him. They're out in the streets now. The people out in the streets, they found out about it. It was the former military guy that they overthrew, working with the French, coming from Togo, had planned another coup. So shout out to the Burkina Faso military who stopped it, and then arrest the same morons, who always easily, follow white people. And shout out even to Ray, like I told Joby, those Nigerian citizens who were caught spying and in there will be either given life imprisonment, or they will be terminated, like you're supposed to do. Shout out to you, Ibrahim, finally understanding. You don't be like these weak other Africans, send them back, and no, they're going to be, like you always said, they're going to be in prison for life, or they're going to be terminated. That's what you do. Africans always want to play crazy. Let's let people go and do what they want to do. And it's already been told they're going to spend life in prison, or they're going to be executed. And that's what you're supposed to do. You don't mess around with my internal sovereignty. Go ahead.
As we continue, we have Nigeria, which we saw the U.S. launching a strike on Nigeria. And this is the similar tactic we've seen literally happening. I don't know if U.S. can literally take control of Nigeria. That is a question I have in my head, but we're going to look and see the action.
It all depends. Sadly enough, the Nigerians are morons. So a lot of Africans are stupid. So they don't understand power. So like we said, But you see what happened. If you guys, everybody knows, sure knows now how America went to Venezuela, and this also was a message to China and Russia. America was saying we're still the big dog on the block, and don't you ever forget it. That's why the Chinese are looking crazy and the Russians are looking crazy. See, you Africa, I told you Africa. Oh, can you go with the Russian and the Chinese? America was showing you we're still the big dog on the block, and don't you forget it. Okay, that was the message that was sent. And China and Russia, they got that message. They got it. That we're the big dog on the block, and don't you forget that. So, what happened in Venezuela, guys, it was a breakdown. What all usually happens in Africa, you got some sellouts with Maduro staff who were bought up by the CIA. And so that's why they were able to infiltrate and go in and snatch his ass out of there. But like I said, never look at the fake. Remember, they own all the fake media globally. So we see all these Venezuelans dancing in the street. That's not in Venezuela. That's either in America or neighboring fake countries. That's not in Venezuela. People in Venezuela now are upset about what happened. They're upset, but they're also scared because this is a power vacuum. They're not going to just give America their oil. See, that's the scam. America doesn't going to go in, knock somebody up, and then start stealing people's oil. It's about resource. Had nothing to do with no drugs, all that fake shit you hear on the media. Oh, it's about America controls all the drugs on the planet. You understand that? Through the cats with the hats. So there's no independent drugs. That's why we went to Afghanistan to steal those drugs, those poppy fields that makes heroin and opioids. Okay? Yeah, we showed you a couple months ago, but last month, how white people control the opium trade, the British Empire and Americans controlled the opium trade. So that's what. So we have this fake news talking about, oh, Maduro and his wife are now in New York facing federal drug charges. Are you out of your mind? Those drugs come from Colombia, the next door neighbor, which the CIA controls, not Maduro. But sadly, what you got happening, so that was America flexing power. It's also, that was a message. That's why the Chinese on TikTok America's trying to show us who's still the real power. And I guess America's still the real power because white people control. They're savage. You better know what real war is. It's about money, power. You know, it's about the money that I'm going to take from you. And about some goopy, all these fake things they give you. It's about money. So, shout out to even Torrey understanding this, because through Nigeria they want to invade you guys because of what your resources. It has nothing to do with somebody loving you, somebody trying to help you because you're Christian, and all this other nonsense. That's them trying to invade you because of your resources. They want your resources. Go ahead, Joe.
Let me share these videos from TikTok explaining further what happened. That was on Christmas Day, which actually left so many people dead. I can't remember the number I saw, but so many people actually died out of that strike that the US launched in Nigeria. That was on Christmas Day. But
something extraordinary happened last week that most Americans didn't even notice. A single economic decision by Nigeria, accepting payment for oil in currencies other than the US dollar, triggered such panic in Washington that President Trump threatened military action. Let me repeat that.
It's all about money. So let's understanding what this man is saying. And they don't care about you being no goofy Christian. They know you goofy Negroes all involved in that Christian. They don't care about your goofy religion. It's about money and power. So they're gonna give you like a smokescreen Maduro with the fake drugs in Venezuela. Why they ain't stop them? Those are Christians over there. Or they will tell y'all we're here to defend the Nigerians' Christianity. No, they're gonna say you Negroes have better stick to the dollar. And if you don't, we're gonna invade and take over your goofy countries. Go ahead, Joe.
or a currency choice. In my decades of studying great power politics, I've seen empires make desperate moves as their dominance slips away. But threatening to bomb a country for exercising basic economic sovereignty, that's not strength. That's the thrashing of a wounded hegemon that's lost control of its own narrative. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and largest economy, didn't attack anyone. They didn't invade a neighbor. They didn't threaten American citizens. They simply announced they would accept payment for their oil in yuan, euros, or naira alongside dollars. And for that act of economic independence, Washington threatened vicious military consequences. This isn't just about Nigeria. This is about the moment when American empire showed its true face to the world. And what we saw wasn't pretty. The mask has finally slipped. And underneath,
yeah, pause it. The mask has finally slipped. All the fake democracy, all the fake we care, all the fake we came in with missionaries, all that goofy shit you morons believe. It's nonsense. It's about power and wealth. You people got our wealth in your grounds, and we want it. And if you don't follow, we're going to blow your ass up. That's what it's. The mask is slipping. No more. They didn't go in Venezuela to be nobody's friend. They went to Venezuela because it's got oil, and they want it, and they're going to steal it if they can get it. But go ahead, Joby.
Fragile than anyone imagined. What Nigeria did was technically simple, but strategically revolutionary. President Bola Tinubu's government announced that state oil companies could accept payments in multiple currencies for crude exports, not abandoning the dollar entirely, just offering alternatives. In any rational world, this would be a routine economic decision. Countries trade various currencies all the time, but we don't live in a rational world. We live in a world where the dollar's monopoly over global energy trade has become the invisible foundation of American power. For decades, the petrodollar system has allowed the United States to print money without consequence, run massive deficits without accountability, and finance military operations across the globe without real cost. Every oil transaction in dollars creates demand for American currency, essentially forcing the world to subsidize our empire. Nigeria's announcement shattered that illusion of inevitability. If a country sitting on some of the world's largest oil reserves can survive without dollar dependence, what stops others from following suit? Trump's reaction revealed everything. Within hours of the announcement, threats emerged from Washington. Vicious consequences were promised. Military options were discussed. The message was clear. Economic sovereignty is an act of war against American interests. But here's what Washington doesn't understand, or refuses to acknowledge. This moment was inevitable, not because Nigeria suddenly became anti-American, but because America has spent the last 2 decades teaching the world that dependence on the dollar is a weapon that can be turned against anyone, anytime, for any reason.
And pause that. And they showed that when they did what they're doing to Russia. What they're doing to Russia, and Russia finally gets it. I don't know, these white people stupid too. That America meant to break Russia's back. We're going to break your back, Putin. We're going to break your back. You are a poor, backward country. The Africans believe you're powerful. Americans knows you're not. You're poor. So they were going to weaponize the dollar to break Russia's back. And people are like, whoa, hey. If they can just steal our money and do what they want to do, let's get out of this dollar. This is dangerous. Yeah. Because it ain't about all these whatever words they tell you, all these grandiose words. It's always about them stealing, robbing, and killing. That's what it's always about. And so you gotta say, well, Russia's white. You better understand white people. Other white people see Russians as almost like a nigga, like the white niggas. Okay? You better understand European history. Russians are seen like white niggas of white people. The Slavics. That's where the term slave came from, if you didn't know. You know, we say slave, they didn't come from Africa. Slave came from the term Slavic. The Russians were considered the slaves of Europe. That's never changed. So, whole thing is down with the break Russia's back and break it up and steal all its resources. But that scared the rest of the world. Like, hey, man, being with this dollar is dangerous. They can just come take everything. They've been taking it, but at that time, America could use what they call diplomatic measures because everybody wanted to suck America's penis. Oh, it's the Americans, oh, they're great, and blah, blah, blah. But now that the empire is falling apart, now they got to use violence over these are called something. You have soft power, you have hard power. America's going back to hard power because the empire is falling apart and soft power doesn't work anymore. They're saying, fuck this soft power. You got it. We need it. We're going to steal it because we got the best military. It ain't nothing you can do to stop it. So that's the message that they sent to Russia and China when they did the movement. Remember, because Venezuela has Chinese arms and Russian arms in there. Military systems, America went in like it wasn't nothing. Your systems mean nothing. If we want to get you, we'll get you. We want to get Museveni, we'll get him. We want to get Tinubu, we'll get your ass. Won't be no Russian, won't be no Chinese that stop you from getting got. That's the message that was sent. Go ahead, Joker.
Developed for years. Every time we freeze assets, every time we cut countries off from SWIFT, every time we weaponize the financial system for political ends, we provide the best possible advertisement for alternatives. We're not just punishing our enemies. We're training our allies to prepare for the day we might turn on them too. Nigeria learned this lesson by watching others. They saw how we froze Russian central bank reserves overnight.
They just didn't freeze it. They stole it. They stole billions of dollars from Russia. They just didn't freeze their accounts. They stole it. They stole Russia's shit. They know Russia don't got the military to do nothing to stop it. Russia's never going to threaten the United States. So they just stole it. Stole billions of dollars from Russia. So yeah, we're going to freeze it, then we're going to steal it. Just that. Go ahead, Joby.
Cut Iran out of global banking. They observed how Venezuela's assets simply vanished from international accounts when we decided their government was...
Pause again. And then another thing they just did, oh my God, this is so criminal. America's such a criminal organization. It's not, you can't use the democracy. America, after they bombed, went and stole Maduro, they went to London and stole all of Venezuela's gold. Stole it. Said that gold belongs to us now. And of course, the British, who the city, we talking about the Bank of London owned by the cats who own America. Of course, they said, okay, here you go, because they're the same people. They just stole a country's, that's why they want Kenyans' gold in the same bank. You got that dumbass Ruto. We're going to put our gold in the British bank, in the Rothschild system, so it can be stolen. So America just went and stole all of Venezuela's gold in the Bank of London. Stole it. You're like, what? This is illegal. So what? And like Joe said, justice don't matter unless you got power. Go ahead, Joe.
Illegitimate. The message was unmistakable. Dollar dependence equals vulnerability to American coercion. And Nigeria, like an increasing number of countries, decided that vulnerability was too dangerous to maintain. The timing of Nigeria's move is no coincidence. Africa's largest economy has been watching the global landscape shift for years. Chinese investment in Nigerian infrastructure has delivered tangible results: railways, ports, power plants, while Western promises remained largely on paper. When Europe desperately needed alternative gas supplies after the Ukraine crisis, Nigeria found itself in an unexpectedly powerful position. But instead of simply opening the taps and accepting whatever terms Europe offered, Lagos demanded something different: technology transfers, majority Nigerian ownership of projects, and support for sustainable energy transition.
That's what you're supposed to do. You don't come to my country unless you give me some damn technology that I can use. You want my resources, then you got to teach my people. You can't just come in and rape me, leave me butt naked and fucked up. You're going to get something back. But you heard, did you hear the Chinese and the Russians say anything about Nigeria being bombed? No, because they showed the slip is showing. They showed America still the power on the planet. They didn't say nothing, because nothing they could say. Americans went and bombed it. What the Chinese say? Oh, we highly don't like it. What they say with Venezuela? Nothing. Nothing. Because America showed, listen here, you can talk all this shit online, all these goofy Negroes thinking you're powerful, but when we come to get you, you get got. It ain't no Chinese, it ain't no Russian gonna save you from us. We're still the big dogs on the block, and we don't work in all that fake democracy. We are a criminal gangster country. And when we want shit, we'll go take it. But you know why? Because we have the military to do it. It ain't nobody on the goddamn world can stop us. Thanks. Man, so that's what America's showing you. Can't nobody stop us from doing what the hell we want to do. Ain't about no laws, ain't about no laws and justice. It's about military power. Go ahead, Joe.
Saying, if Nigeria cannot protect Christians, we are going to move in viciously. And we are going to do so to protect Christians. And I think Trump is being advised that the Nigerian government is working softly on this issue because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim, because Vice President Shetima is also a Muslim.
This dude is worthless, man. Because he's worthless.
The question has reason.
Not no Muslim and all this other nonsense. It's about power. They don't care whether you're a Muslim. Everybody knows this. I was talking about this crazy stuff about he's a Muslim, somebody's a Muslim and a Christian. They don't mean nothing. They don't care nothing about that, whether he's a Muslim or Christian. It's about them, like the guy said before, Joby had on here, the other white guy. It's about the dollar dominance and you doing what you're told to do. That's just the pretense I'm using so I can evade you. That's just me using the pretense saying it's about Christian. They don't care about nobody black being no Christian. They don't even like your ass. That's just the pretense, the lie they'll use to get in your country so they won't like they're just coming in to rob you, which they are. To come in and force you to do something, which they are. That's the excuse for him working. It's about Tinubu and a Muslim and get off of that nonsense talk. Go ahead, Joe.
Listen, guys, there is a lot of agenda flying around this morning. Nicki Minaj is getting dragged. The timeline is streaming how Trump is invading Nigeria for the mineral resources.
Nicki Minaj Nicki Minaj was supposed to be dragged a long time ago. Her ass is what she's done. Thank God. They calling her out, cosplaying. You're not a black American. Cosplay. Go back to Trinidad and talk that crazy shit over there. That's what you do.
Well, I need to clear up something, or at least speak my mind as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, because the gaslighting is too much. I don't see this energy when Christians are being slaughtered and killed on daily basis in this country. First off, can you guys stop the cap? You keep shouting that they are coming for our oil. Are you even looking at the map? The airstrike happened in the northwest, specifically Sokoto and Zamfara. There is no oil there. The oil is in the southern part of Nigeria.
Invasion doesn't have to start exactly where the whole project is. Literally, it's crazy if you think they're gonna just come straight to where the oil is. I mean, they do that, just like the other guy said. They're no longer hiding. And the same thing, even with the video I shared of the other lady saying African countries are voluntarily putting themselves into slavery, selling themselves out. It's not even voluntarily. They no longer even ask. They've been doing it willingly. America invades, Britain invades, Europe, France, all of them. They invade without asking us, hey, can we help you? Or do you need any part? And their help is not even help. This is, again, we go back to the Hegelian dialectic, literally. It's them they have caused the same problem. They've seen the reaction, which is what they expect, of course, and it should be a reaction that is going to force them in fully, and they do it. Hegelian dialectic, playing TikTok mind games on us, and shout to Alliance Sahel State. They have clearly shown you, the rest of the African countries, what you need to do. Cut the ties and look at them. They're thriving. They're doing amazing, using their own resources, literally now refining their own resources in their own country, which saves your own economy. But you want to keep on depending on the dollar. You want to keep on exporting your shit. Like I've said, raw materials, then you buy things very expensive. It doesn't make sense. And it's some piece of shit, unlike what they have been left with. So when will you ever wake up? That should be the question. So you think just when someone wants to come and invade my house, they won't, if there's something they really want in my house, they won't come to my house unless they're really, really sent. But a thief, let's say I've hosted a thief, I want to know it's a thief because he won't come directly, stealing. But are they managed?
Now they are. They didn't intervene. You said all these nice. Well, now they're openly stealing it. Now it's not the man, like the guy said. The mask is off. All the fake. Well, this is what I try to teach you Africans. All the fake words they give, those are fake. Always listen. See what they do, not what they say. So now the words don't even they don't care about the words because they're like, listen here, our empire's falling apart, Africa's starting to wake up, and we're not going to tolerate it. These Negroes will be kept in poverty whether they like it or not, or they fight. So that's why just yesterday, like I said, while you had them, they're not going to stop. Remember, you ever showed something like 3 weeks ago, oh, we want to be your friends, we want to stop, we were wrong. What did they do? They still went back in yesterday and tried to overthrow his ass again. Why they keep trying to overthrow the Sahel state? Because not just Ibrahim, we hear about him all the time because he's the most popular, Niger and Mali, because they've broken out of the system of control, of resource extraction from African people, keeping them impoverished. You have too many weak African men. And everybody, shout out to everybody finally saying it. There's a problem with African men being weak and spineless. I've been said that. So these men are showing that they're not going to be weak and spineless anymore. And shout out to even Torrey put that school in there to raise boys to be men. There's been a problem the last 500 years with African men. Not African women, African men being spineless, gutless, and weak and mealy-mouthed. And thinking being soft is somehow some kind of fucking virtue. Your softness is only a virtue to your stupid ass, not the world. The world sees you as weak and incompetent. So you better learn to grow a spine in your backbone. And that's what the Sahel states are doing. That's why there's a whole class set up that they made to understand colonialism, what the white man really done and what he is to you, and how to grow a goddamn spine. And I'm glad somebody knows that. Vincent, you got too many weak men in Africa. And that's the fact. About Africa's been constantly put in poverty. Too many weak-ass African men. So you got to change that whole system from childhood. Period. Oh, this Millie, oh, it's okay now. If you raise your voice, it's set. Man, you out your mind. You raise your men to be warriors, to die for their resources. Go ahead, Joe.
As we continue on the next conversation, we have Israel, which literally recognized Somali-Land. This was last week.
And they don't. That's another thing. Shout out to people. The Africans are smarter now. You're being colonized again, you moron. Somali-Land, and they said we're going to ship these Palestinians who hate black people to you. But you're not. But you guys are Somali. You don't believe you're black anyway. You're Arab mixed anyway. But that's for them to come back and colonize your country. Stupid. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with this video of Idi Amin's son talking about Israel. For so long, he's actually been very attacking.
Correct.
Not correct about Israel. The same with the dad. Remember the history of the father as well. He was also against Israel actions and all that. But listen to what
But they understood that these people control the world through their financing, all the banks, and so they make a fake, false narrative. And since they own all the media, that narrative gets pushed out to the world. You don't understand. That's why these Africans are running around cheering. Yay! You don't know what you just did, you idiot, because they've been raised in fake, false narratives. That's why they must have control of media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, to push a fake media so you're constantly caught up in propaganda. But go ahead, Joe.
Being recognized by the lunatic state of Israel actually makes me laugh.
He's in the lunatic state. That's exactly. He's in the lunatic state. Exactly.
That they are both desperate. I think Somaliland should have just kept quiet after hearing about a recognition from mad people. But since they haven't kept quiet, we should just apply the saying that leave the myopic to their myopia. One day they'll get to where they could not see, and that's when they'll learn that they are simply going to be used and thrown away like toilet paper by these malicious, racist, genocidal mass murderers who would actually spit on all of them like they do to European Christians and Africans in the streets of Jerusalem every day. In fact, I'm 100% sure that this issue is going to cost Somaliland politicians dearly in terms of political support from their own population.
Of course it will. That is the expectation. I mean, is there any other expectation? expectation. I don't see any other expectation. It's Israel.
Imagine working
Most people don't know what Israel. Africans don't know what Israel is, Joe. But they believe in the religion and all the nonsense. They don't understand that. But like you said, it's a homicidal, genocidal maniac. They don't have no idea. They have no. They're caught in religious narrative, Joby. They were caught in a book of these are the people of God, and this. That's why they kept that religion going, because that's the narrative. You believe that they're the people of God, and so when they come in and blow your country up and kill you and shoot you in the head, so it must be ordained by God. But go ahead, Joe.
Imagine waking up to find your oldest, most dedicated enemy not just standing on your doorstep, but offering a warm shoulder in a dinner date. Well, that is exactly what is happening between Israel and Somali from Somali-Land currently.
Mr. President.
Mr. Prime Minister.
It's good to talk to you. And before anything
else, and this why they laugh at black people. But only because silly Somalis black, they're weird, the inbred niggas, right? But this is why the white world laughs at these morons, because they never learn. He thinks that Israel is really holding out an olive branch to him of friendship. He really believes that's what I'm talking about. The IQs are low. He really believes this. He doesn't understand they're about to destroy they're about to break his whole goddamn back. These people don't even like you. I mean, openly hate us. Vigorously hate anything African or African-like. I call these people African-like because they're mixed with all kind of other shit. And you don't even know that. It's like, shout out to Idi Amin Jr. It just blows my mind how the African never learns. He's just a moron after damn generations. He's an idiot. What they talk about, that used to make me angry. I'm talking openly in these spaces. African is a dummy. We'll just keep doing this dumbass generation after generation. Their IQs are too low. I'm like, it's crazy. But go ahead, Joe.
We're signing now as we speak.
For decades, Israel was widely viewed by many Somalis as an enemy, shaped largely by its war with Arab states and the broader politics of solidarity in the Muslim world. However, that hostility is now cracking very fast.
See, look at the people. These are not Africans. These are part of the invaders. See, these people are not African. They're in Africa. See, that's what you gotta learn, African people. You gotta learn the difference between African people and people that now who are in Africa who came in as invaders. You got to start learning this in your books. You can't just say people are Africans when they're not. See, because they're in African lands. It's like the Dutch down in South Africa. They don't get to be called Afrikaners. They're not African people. These are invaders. These Somalians, which that used to be all black people thousands of years ago, is not anymore because of the invasions into Africa. Okay? You need to understand this. These people are not Africans and they're no allies to you. And you need to know this from birth. Shout out to Ebert. You need to know this. Stop having some goofy ass goddamn fake fantasy. Oh, these are African people. They are not. They sit on the African continent, yes, but these are invaders. Go ahead, Jobin.
Republic of Somaliland as an independent sovereign state. The agreement was signed by Israel Prime Minister.
And then also they come to steal your history. These people claim that they're ancient African, ancient put. These people are not. These other fake mixed Ethiopians, these people are not ancient Africans. But they put on your damn history like it's theirs. They are not ancient African people at all. Go ahead, Joby.
Gideon Sar and Somaliland President Abdurrahman Mohamed Abdullahi.
Israel's official recognition of Somaliland and its right of self-determination. Our friendship is seminal and historic. So I'm very, very happy and I'm very proud of this day. And I want to wish you and the people of Somaliland the very, very best there.
Full diplomatic relations are now in place with plans for embassies in Jerusalem and Hargeisa and the exchange of ambassadors. Netanyahu described the move as consistent with the Abraham Accords.
I think this will be a great opportunity for expanding our partnership. We intend to work together with you.
It's no partnership. That's the term they use. Then they kill people, they take over lands, they do what they want. That's the
Exactly.
term
There
they
you
use. And I
go.
feel like really the world watching this and the people who are trying to connect the dots still to the people trying to connect the dots because the people understand why Israel is doing this and why Israel actually has the power. The question should go back to the power of doing this. The question should be why is Israel the one recognizing Somaliland? That is what the question should
Exactly.
actually been asked. Why is it not even other African countries supporting this? Why don't we have the African Union as a board talking about this? Why don't we see the UN, the EU talking or addressing this, or even America? Why is it that Israel, a country that actually is, in the Middle East, you're in the Middle East, you conversation about the issue about the African continent. I mean, we know that part is part of Africa, but how so? That should be the question. If people really understood or tried to connect the patterns, this should be a very, very big problem, and we should understand
It is a big,
this.
a lot of people are connecting the dots. I get a lot of African credit. You're right. It is a big problem, and a lot of Africans are stupid. That's just the problem. You have a lot of Africans have not been educated. Don't understand geopolitics, so they keep falling, like they say, for the banana in the tailpipe over and over again. The destabilization of Sudan right now is from Israel and the UAE or whatever that shit's called, to steal African resources and to displace the Africans from that land. That's what you see happen now. They're gonna move in a bunch of white Arabs like this amount and displace African people from those lands and steal those resources. That's what
So
this is about.
we need to wake up from the religion psychosis and be very
You
aware, be
better.
very aware because so far, if you are like you've explained, if you connect the patterns, how many countries Israel is in control of directly and how they do this, you should question about your own country. And the fact that we're dealing with puppets, that is something else. How easy can Israel come and claim Kenya? That should be actually what people should be asking. How easy can Israel come claim Uganda or Tanzania?
And
Is it
and that
possible?
and what you're seeing now with America, they're saying we don't even want puppets. We want to just come and just take over the country. 'Cause everybody had Trump said, "Well, we're going to control Venezuela. You're going to put a no, we're going to control it." See, they don't want puppets in there. They don't want the illusion anymore. You got open gangsterism,
I
openly
was
in your face. Go ahead, Joe.
I was reading this earlier today where we had the Rothschilds congratulating Trump for capturing Maduro and
Of
calling it a
course.
and of course the question if you still believe about liberation and you haven't learned anything from history, this is about Maduro. This isn't about Maduro and it never was.
Nope.
It's about resources. People were
Exactly, Joby.
about narco terrorism, but the largest drug empires on earth aren't foreign governments.
No,
They
they're American. They're Americans through what we call the Rothschild family. That's what
they
that's what they're from, Joe. So it's not about no damn. Remember, as you did that thing showing how all the Americans and the British were getting rich off the drug trade in 1800. These are all government sources. They haven't stopped being control of the drug. They put out their goofy movies. Oh, there's drugs and cartels but you never know the real cartel that runs these fake cartels are the British Empire and the American government through the Rothschild family. You never learn that. That's never put in none of your goofy movies.
Mhm. As we get closer to winding up, they're saying that they are pharmaceutical corporations that killed millions, paid fines, and kept operating. The Jewish Sackler family killed over 500,000 Americans, no arrests and no nothing. Venezuela had no Rothschilds controlled central bank, and the central bank of Venezuela was 100% state owned by the government. Nathaniel
Exactly.
Rothschild
See,
is
exactly. So that's one of the few banks that were control. I told you, all bank is also about their banking system. Exactly. See that one wasn't controlled by the Rothschilds. But yeah, you go. So I think Hugo Chavez probably did. He said, "Okay, time to get that bank back." Go ahead, Joe. Let me see.
So they're saying that the Nathaniel Rothschild is now celebrating Trump and the regime changed to AKA liberation in Venezuela, and the Rothschild are also the funders of Israel. In 2009, Venezuela cut off to Israel after the Gaza massacre. Chavez expelled Israel ambassador. They broke diplomatic bonds and publicly aligned with the Palestinians. From that point on, Venezuela became a permanent target because Venezuela is equal to the world, is literally has the world's largest oil reserves.
Oh, has a lot, exactly.
The playbook is we have in 1953, Iran nationalizes oil, which is through a coup. We also have in 1973, Chile nationalizes copper through a coup. 2003, we have Iraq invasion. 2011, we had Libya, Africa largest proven oil reserves, which is went to a regime collapse. 2026, we have Venezuela's world largest oil reserves. We have a military invasion and regime change. America and Israel each bombed 7 countries in the past year. No country in all of history has bombed 7 countries in a year. A new record. Venezuela joined the list exactly as predicted 1 month ago. And Venezuela now sits on world's largest proven oil reserves, 195 TCF of natural gas, which is the top 5 globally, a fully state-controlled central bank, no Wall Street access, no foreign ownership of its core resources, but there is more to it. Venezuela sits on the Orinoco mining arc of the richest
gold
mineral zones of earth: gold, silver, coltan, and other rare earths.
And so, pause it. Let me see. And if you guys don't know where that's at, that's on the border of Venezuela and Guyana, right? So that's on the border of Guyana and Venezuela. And so what they're trying to do through Guyana is annex that land because Guyana is a puppet state. So they're trying to access the borderland from Guyana to Venezuela and say, oh, that land really belongs to Guyana, not Venezuela. This is how they do. And they go to their fake, like Joe said, their fake judicial system, say, hey, this land belongs to Guyana, not Venezuela. This is the border. So they'll change your border so they can steal your gold and silver, do their fake criminal system. But go ahead, Joe, keep reading.
Yeah, estimates put the Orinoco arc at the hundreds of billions to over $1 trillion in buried resources. Coltan is valued north of $100 billion and is essential for smartphones, weapon systems, and EV batteries. This is not liberation. They don't care about Venezuelans or Americans. Oil takes years and tens of billions to restart. Gold doesn't. Venezuela officially holds 61 metric tons of gold, amongst the largest reserves in Latin America, and an estimated 10,000 tons remains underground. At current prices, that's over 1 trillion buried in the ground. People celebrate the looting of foreign countries, not realizing the same system is looting them too. Venezuela has $15 trillion in oil, and ordinary Americans and Venezuelans will never see a cent of it. Zionists.
Exactly. Never pause it for a second, Joe. So Joe, I know Joe, that's exactly right. Joe, understand. See them through the Rothschilds, these people. You never seen the background. You see fake governments. Now I can understand these governments are controlled by certain families. They're not there to know. So the narrative they put, that's why they got to own all media. The fake narrative they put out there, democracy, helping people, blah, 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 those are all lies. It's all about resource extraction and keeping these people rich and keeping you poor.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Joby.
I think the Zionist bankers in Israel will then devour everything like they always do. This will never be about Maduro. Corrupt leaders are everywhere, but they are mainly targeted for their resources.
For the resources.
Control central banks, criticisms of Israel, and exposing Zionist control over America. The media demonizes leaders when it serves a strategic goal. The US can abduct a foreign head of state, try him in its courts, and still call it justice. The sanctions.
Exactly. Exactly. This is the most crazy. It's in your face. This is so criminal, so bold, and so. Let me just go like into Joby's house and snatch your ass out of there and say, "I don't like you. I'm holding you in my court, and your now house belongs to me, and all your shit in it." Yeah, what? That's what they're doing. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Then sanction the International Criminal Court for pursuing war criminals like Netanyahu. Its suckers, Zionist powers are openly mocking the West. As the only question that matters after liberation: who controls the oils? Who controls the mines? Who controls the
Exactly.
money system? It's never the people. Americans lose, Venezuelans lose. Zionist billionaires fill their pockets and exploit their both sides like they always do. Venezuela celebrating in the streets don't understand the consequences. Neither
And
do
pause it, and pause it. You said it's not the Venezuelans. Okay, guy, you got part right. Those pictures you seen are not from Venezuela. Those are Venezuelans living in other countries. That's propaganda. They're coming from America, Chile, maybe Colombia, but they're not in Venezuela. There's no one partying in the streets in Venezuela. That's all propaganda. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, they're saying that neither do the MAGA supporters sharing a narco bust. This
The
isn't
MAGA is a moron. They don't know shit.
this isn't a left versus right thing. This isn't about
Exactly.
US versus Venezuela. It's Zionist billionaires, banks, and corporations versus Americans and Venezuelans. The real
Exactly.
winners are Exxon, Chevron, defense contractors, political insiders, and Israel. And the Rothschilds. The biggest losers are Venezuela's and America and the rest of the global system and countries that don't understand the same tactics. Maduro also crossed another red line. He openly challenged the US and Israel foreign policy, condemned the genocide in Gaza, and aligned with the Palestinians. And
Well,
the guarantee.
he openly said some shit that he's supposed to kept his mouth shut. And there's also, like I said, exactly, there's a knock to China because he thought the Chinese and Russians were going to be able to save him. And
Yeah.
no, and I've always told you, China and Russia cannot save you from the American military. I've always mentioned that. So I tell you, goopy Africans, oh, Russia is such a powerful country, and China. I said, if you believe this, you're stupid. America's still the big dog on the block. And if they want to get you, they're going to get you, especially about their money. See, if you ain't got no money, you can run off at the mouth. If you ain't got no resources, you can say all kind of crazy shit. No one cares. But you know, the cats that run the world, they're gonna tell, hey, they're gonna call Trump, say it's time, nigga, don't make the move. We want that gold, we want that oil, and we want it now, and go get it. Go ahead.
As I wind up, the last two articles say that wasn't about liberation; it was about extraction, sold as justice.
That's what I just said.
Once you understand how oil, gold, central banks feed, repo markets, and power intersect, liberation is the story told to the naive, while resources are stripped.
Exactly, to the naive.
It's not about democracy. It's not about humanitarian concern. It's not even about ideology. It's about who controls the world's largest oil reserves and who Maduro refuses to bow to, which is the same people who control the largest oil reserves and the globe. The country changes, the targets change, the strategy doesn't. So literally, that is what is happening, and it's the same thing happening in Nigeria, the same thing happening in Somaliland, the same thing happening in most of the African countries that claim the fake independency. If you don't bow,
It's the same thing happening all over the globe. You're exactly right. If you see, for the naive, I like to say the morons. Naive too, but you don't understand. You hear all these fake terms, democracy and justice and freedom and all that old fake shit. You believe that, and you don't understand. It's about nothing but raw power and wealth stealing. As I say, this is extraction. It's about money, keeping them rich and keeping you poor. That is about.
Yeah, but literally
who's on the beach.
Up with today's conversation. Thank you so much, Sister Michelle. Nice to see you. Good morning to you too. Shout out to Byron Scott. Nice to see you as well. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm a supermodel. What do you mean I look like a supermodel? I'm a supermodel. Stop playing. But nice to see you. Happy New Year to everyone.
I know she went and got her hair done. When was that? A couple days ago.
Beautiful, beautiful day. Peace and light to y'all.
When? How long you had your hair done, Joey? For a week or so? Shout out to you, Byron. And shout out to Jibba Jabba. You don't listen to some replay, Jibba. I said I'll be back this week. I know it's the first. So I'm gonna be back this week.